I'll tell you what, Senator John Kennedy hits the nail right on the head in this video, and he's a former Democrat turned Republican, so he's obviously very independent-minded like this community. And Jerome Powell looks like a deer in the headlights because he literally has nowhere to go.
Mr. Chairman, inflation is just an imbalance of supply and demand. Can we agree on that?
Yes, generally.
And to put a little finer point on it, our inflation at this time, and this is the case with respect to most cases of inflation, demand is greater than supply, so prices go up.
In some parts of the economy, yes.
Right. Now, you're trying to lower demand. Is that correct?
Yes, while also giving the supply side time to recover. There's some ground to be covered on that side.
Yes, but you've talked about your role, scope, and mission, and your job is monetary. You're trying to lower demand.
Well, I'm trying to I would say lower demand growth. We don't know that the demand has to actually go down, which would be a recession.
Well, 70% of our economy is driven by consumer demand, and you're trying to lower demand and slow the economy.
They're absolutely trying to destroy demand. They're shrinking their balance sheets and hiking interest rates. That sucks liquidity out of the economy, lowers the market cap of companies, causes layoffs, the whole 9 yards. 401ks go down, home values go down, people feel like they have less money. That's what demand destruction is.
Down. Am I correct?
I guess I just say we're slowing down growth.
Right. That's what the economy is. The growth.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
All right. There's another way. The two aren't exclusive. You alluded to that. You can also lower demand, but you can increase supply. Can you not?
Yes.
And that would solve inflation.
Yes, it would.
Now, Congress's job is not to deal with demand per se. A lot of the bills we pass impact demand, but that's the Fed's job.
Right.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to ask you to comment on any specific bill, but tell me the things that Congress could do right now while you're lowering demand, not you literally, the Federal Reserve, what we can do right now to increase supply.
I think the things that you can do are important over the medium and longer term, but probably not so much in the short term. But it's things that like investing in people so that they can remain in the labor market longer, things like that.
I want you to pay attention to how hesitant he is to say anything about policies related to what Democrats are doing, because keep in mind, he's a Republican, appointed by a Republican, but I think that he's so concerned about not being the one in the driver's seat of this delicate situation that he's behind the scenes absolutely forced to not verbally go against what the Democrats are doing.
And infrastructure, things that will increase the productive capacity.
Well, how about, in the long run, as Keynes said, we're all dead. I'm interested right now in the short run. What about if we reduce the regulatory burden, let's say on refinery, wouldn't that incent refineries to start refining more and help on the supply side?
I would say anything that could increase capacity on that front could have.
Yeah, but would that help? I'm not trying to get you to endorse legislation. Look, Mr. Chairman, we got a hell of a mess here. Okay? Inflation is hitting my people so hard they're coughing up bones. Now, we got a hell of a mess. And right now, you're the most powerful man in the United States, maybe in the world. We've got to President Biden, I don't blame him. I understand politics. He keeps saying, well, your 401k has crashed and gas has gone from $2 to $5 a gallon because the economy's so good. And the American people know that's not true. Now, other than relieving regulatory burden, what if the United States Congress said, look, we've got a budget. We're going to freeze spending. We're going to stop injecting more money into the economy. We're going to freeze spending until Powell can get control on the demand side. Would that help?
I feel like giving you advice on what to do when
I'm asking
we're not
for it.
getting
I welcome it.
We're not getting our own job done. I feel like maybe a better thing to do would be for us to get our house in order and do the job you've assigned us.
Well, let me put it another way. Let's suppose, forget about Congress. Let's suppose that every governor in every state and every legislature in every state got together tomorrow and said, I know it's not likely to happen, and said, we are going to freeze our budgets. We're not going to spend a penny more than's already budgeted. Would that help?
Would it help?
Sir?
Would it help with?
Would it help reduce inflation?
It would depend on. It might. But I mean, it would take. I'm giving you. I'm scoring fiscal policy.
Well, I understand
really
you're being careful, but Mr. Chairman, the United States Congress, in addition to its regular budget, has spent $7 trillion. I'm not saying all of it was unnecessary. On top of that, the Fed's increased its balance sheet from $1.5 trillion to $9 trillion. $9 trillion. I know you're cutting it back, but we've injected all of this money into the economy, and then people go, well, we have inflation. Duh. Give me some help here. Tell me what we can do.
I'm really focused on what we can do, which is shrink our balance sheet and raise interest rates and get supply and demand back into alignment and get inflation back down to 2%.
Thank you, Senator Kennedy.
Totally ridiculous. You can't even answer the question. This is a result of kicking the can down the road for years and years and years now. And just so happens that Powell and Biden are the ones holding the bag when the chickens are coming home to roost, to mesh a bunch of analogies together.